exciting because if you capture all that hot air and put in a balloon, it's going to burst, and that's what people want. They want it. That's a fight that makes, of course, the next sense. It might be the best that MVP pulled out with a quote. It's so funny, he got an injury, and maybe he might have an injury for real, but he was decided to pull out with this injury. He probably knew about it, but you know what? Let me just pull out, because if I'm hearing some things, maybe I'm expecting Rory to win. This next fight actually might be the one that makes sense. How about we do me and Paul Daly? I'd be making a call with Scott Coker right now.
Oh yeah,
let's do it. Let's do this. You know what to do. Let's just do this.
Definitely. You want to talk about money fights? That's a money fight from a guy who's taken a loss. You know what I mean? That makes the most sense. What about you, Bob? Do you want to see that fight, MVP and Daly?
Oh, I'm sorry, Bob.
Absolutely.
I said Ben. My bad.
That's okay. No, that's all right. No, absolutely. And that's a fight that sort of markets itself because both these guys don't like each other, apparently. You got Michael Venom Page, who's undefeated, and Paul Daly, who is a ferocious striker. So you would really expect that fight to be a stand-up war where it's one of these fights you don't blink or else you don't go to the bathroom, or else you'll find yourself missing the end of the fight. So that is something that really, really is perfect, because both of their personalities are very, very combative, very, very flamboyant, and it's who's going to win, who is going to get that knockout. As far as the scuffle that happened on Friday night, Blake and I were talking about this off air. Nothing happened. Dan Miragliotta was in the center of it. Both these guys were separated. So Coker mentioned the possibility of fines, that the Bellator regulator was going to look at all angles and see if anything, who instigated what happened, whatnot. But I don't think there should be any fines, because it's nothing compared to what happened at the UFC summer kickoff press conference last week. That was just a travesty as far as I'm concerned. There should be fines, but Bellator has to be professional. Bellator and all mixed martial arts organizations, they have to have some sort of regulation for the conduct of their athletes at their events and at press conferences. And Coker acknowledged that, look, this is a sport. There's sometimes these type of antics are built into the promotional strategy. We understand that. We've all seen press conferences, the Strike Force brawl years ago. It happens, but there has to be some sort of enforcement mechanism against these fighters when they act inappropriately. But I just didn't see that on Friday as much attention as it got. I didn't really see anything that was really, really too bad.
Let's go back to that, just because you brought it up, Bob, that UFC press conference. You mentioned you'd like to see fines. I don't know, man. I'd like to see fines for how cringy it was. A lot of that was just too fucking cringy, man. It was just like, I don't know. It was like forced drama. You know what I mean? Where everyone's trying to be Conor McGregor, and I get it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It makes sense, but really, you want to see who do you want to see fined first of all?
It depends. If you punch somebody, if you strike somebody, if you make physical contact. I mean, look what happened with Conor McGregor and the Diaz, Nate Diaz press conference. Was it last year with the water bottles where they're throwing water bottles and there was fines issued, and that's got to be done. I don't like to see that. Not that I'm sort of some individual that doesn't think that this doesn't have the potential to happen. But you also had Amanda Nunes and Valentina Shevchenko sort of, nudging each other. Amanda, pushes her away with her fist. When it comes to certain, I think, physical, I guess, altercations or provocations, there should be fine. If you throw punches at a press conference, you throw chairs at a press conference, or throw bottles or whatever, you should be fine. If you shove somebody, or you move towards somebody in a way like we saw with Cormier and Johnson, that's to be expected.
What were yourself, Blake? What did you make of that now infamous, I don't know if you want to call it infamous, press conference?
It was like when they remake a movie and it's the worst remake ever of all time. And you're like, let the original stand, bro. Just don't remake Scarface. Let's not do. It's exactly like it's the worst remake ever of some. Again, they're trying to be like Conor McGregor. The only part of that was real that I saw as genuine was when Michael Chiesa ran up on Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee is from a hood. You don't fuck around like that. Like, you just don't do that. You don't do that. You don't know people's backgrounds. You don't know where the fuck they come from. Like, as much as they're athletes, people forget they're real people. Like, they got real. He's a street motherfucker, and you don't do that shit. Like, you get. He got the response he wanted. He got clipped. Like, you don't run up on somebody like that at all. So I thought that was the most genuine response was that punch that Kevin Lee threw at Michael Chiesa. And granted, it shouldn't happen. That's not good. That's not good for the sport. But it's a real world response that's not forced.
Exactly.
So
yes,
I thought that was the realest point. Even though it was the worst point, it was the realest point. All of them, talking that shit, like fake pretending they're talking that shit. Like, this maybe either don't do that or study the shit talking. A little bit more before you go do
game.
that.
It was
practice in the mirror or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
It was interesting because Chiesa, and this is something you got to look at the videotape. You could spend a while looking at the videotape. Chiesa said that he was restrained by two security guards, and was 10 feet away from Kevin Lee. Look, that's subject to interpretation. Just like Amanda said that Valentina touched her first on the chin, and so that's why she reacted the way she did. So we don't know. It's either way. I agree with you. It shouldn't have happened, and we'll see if the UFC. Dana White didn't seem too concerned about it.
He'll know what it says.
God, no, he loved it. He loved it.
I'll tell you, John Anik and Brian Stan, they loved it. They talked about it on their respective shows about it just makes people more interested now, and it's great. So we'll see what happens.
It's almost like as much as it didn't work, it did work. As much as it didn't, it did. Yeah.
It's that whole snakes on a plane thing. Guys, let's move on to the second half of the show, answering fan questions and comments. And I'm pleased to say, special guest has joined us for this one. My man from Lubbock, Texas, Mr. Kevin Jones. Kev, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. I'm in full effect. I got this hot little bartender who wants me to come drink Bloody Marys at her bar at 7, so I'm trying to mind my P's and Q's before 7 o'clock. But in the spirits of the Mixed Martial Arts Roundtable podcast, I had to crack open a cold one, and it's that good Bud Light that you love, John Boy.
Oh, no, I'm sending some tenants your way, mate. Enough of the Budweisers. It's ridiculous, mate. Well, I'll just remind the panel of the one rule we have on when it comes to fan questions, and it's simply you don't have to wait your turn, guys. The floor is yours. So let's start with Twitter this week. Our first tweet came from Mike Stretor, at Mike Stretor. He tweeted to say, only way Daly gets his hands on MVP is a surprise attack. MVP is going to fuck him up when they meet. Won't even be close. Hashtag Bellator 179. What do you think?
I don't know, man. Last time out the gates, Michael Venom Page had a little trouble with Fernando Gonzalez. So, I think maybe people are drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit on him, man. I mean, I'm always one of the guys that says that I don't need to see somebody in there better competition to be able to recognize greatness. But I think we might have got a little before, put the horse before the cart on that.
But wait a minute. I mean, Fernando Gonzalez, was it Fernando Vargas? Whoever the fuck it was, that dude that MVP fought last, dude, he's one of these guys that is tough as, first of all, he's Mexican. We're tough
he's
as
a
fuck.
workhorse.
He is, and he's riding a confidence wave. Like, so he's gonna put everything into that, and he did. And it's not to say I don't think MVP is as bad as we think he is. I think we didn't recognize how good Homie was going to be in the ring with somebody like that, which is cool. He had the right game plan. He had a good game, a really solid game, and that's how you fight. Everybody doesn't fight like that, and they should. So does it make it a little bit harder next time we see MVP? Maybe. Especially, I don't think it does. Especially if it's Paul Daly, he's not going to do that. He's got one game plan, and so now it's just becoming a styles matchup. What do we want to see MVP? Bellator's not going to book him with anybody. It's going to be boring. So I'm excited. I'm high on good fights, and I really like him. I don't care. Yeah, he does all this other stuff, flamboyant stuff, whatever. In the cage, though, and I think people they can't separate fighters and egos and stuff like that. In the cage, MVP is very, very good. So it's one of those things, man.
I might be jumping the gun, but me and a friend of mine, Eddie, down in Florida, we always have a debate, and he always says, there's too many athletes, and he's talking more about boxing, but there's too many athletes and not enough fighters. Now, I ain't saying that's 100% accurate, but I think if we put him in there with more talented guys, we'll find out. We know that MVP is an athlete, but is he a fighter that's going to get nitty gritty when he's in there with better competition and he's facing diversity? I don't know yet, but we'll wait and see.
Now, I want to see what Paul Daly has on Michael Venom Page. This type of information that he has that he doesn't want to put out in public right now. I mean, sort of the voyeurist, but I think that it could have something to do with Michael Venom Page's father, Curtis Page, who we know is now in some sort of legal problem. But again, that's all speculation at this point. So, will we see something like that? As once this fight gets signed, will we see? Paul Daly sort of drop the hammer and drop a bombshell. I don't know. As far as the fight itself, it's going to be a very, very good fight. Definitely going to be a very, very attractive fight. Hopefully they could do it in Wembley Stadium. They could do it in the UK at the end of the year, if not next year. So there's a huge market out there for Bellator. And the fans are really going to appreciate that. And hopefully, if you believe Paul Daly, hopefully Michael Venom Page won't pull out and actually make it to the fight.
Fingers crossed, definitely. Let's move on, guys. At Else for Elf tweeted to say, what's everyone's thoughts on Fabian Edwards' flying knee? #Bellator. Don't know if anyone saw that, KO.
I didn't watch that. I ain't got time to watch that, man. But I'm glad it happened. But I watched Titan. I had watched Titan.
Flying knees are always.
They're always nice. There was dope. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it. I might go back and watch. I didn't watch it though, but that's dope that it happened.
I'm definitely googling that though. I want to read out.
I saw it, man. It was pretty beautiful.
BEA, beautiful. Patrick Wyman tweet cracked me up though. I feel like I'm at the stage in my MMA watching career where I can fast forward a Czech Congo fight and be totally okay with it. Yeah, I mean, we were talking prior to the show just like how boring a Czech Congo fight's become since what he was like before. But I mean, this is the style now, right?
That's what they show. That's what they show the terrorists and Guantanamo Bay. They show them recent Czech Congo fights.
Yeah.
It's just and he's to do with the pace he fights it, man. That's how he's going to come in there and approach these fights. Yeah, we shouldn't 100% correct. We should never expect anything flashy out of this guy before or since, man. I mean, that's kind of how he fights. He goes in there, he's going to pace himself. I don't blame him. He's a big, muscled up dude, man. I mean, what's he got to do to win? But sure should.
I've seen him train. Like the thing is, I've seen him train here at the On It Gym in Austin, and all he's doing is hands. Like all he's doing is hands. I'm not saying he doesn't train. He goes a lot of jiu-jitsu places to go to, but like, it's like, bro, bring that in the cage. I know how good you are. We know how good you are, but I think he's a little sensitive to his chin. I think he realized,
chinny thing.
I don't want to do that. I don't play that game.
Dana White over the weekend had this big pair of scissors that he used to cut the red ribbon at the UFC facility at the UFC 2017 Fighters Retreat. And Scott Coker may want to think about getting a big pair of shears and cut Czech Congo from his roster. I understand Czech Congo wants to fight safer. He's 42 years old and he's got a lot of wins here, but the Bellator's got to look at this and see, is he providing the fights that fans want to see? Is it exciting? Because I know analysts that were just dreading the fight, just dreading the mere existence of a Czech Congo fight. So they're keeping him around.
I wouldn't cut him. What I would do is if I was Scott Coker, I'm like, your next fight, let's do this. Let's put you in a Bellator kickboxing. Let's have you headline it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're gonna see you stand and bang, bro. Like if we're gonna make use of you, we're gonna be paying you hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're gonna get the most out of you, and I think this is the best thing to do. I don't know if that'll happen, but that would be cool.
Or try I say try to find somebody who's going to flatten his ass too. You know what I mean?
Pat Barry, drag Pat Barry's ass up.